Hey guys, I know I've been out of the YouTube scene for a while now, and I honestly don't have any reason better than the fact I was just busy with school. But with the quarter ending and the recent release of Marching Fire, I thought it would be a great time to start back up again. With that said, for this video I wanted to go over some of my first impressions from playing the new expansion Marching Fire. This video is actually sponsored by Ubisoft, so I want to say a huge thank you to them for helping to support the channel. Of course, this will not change any sort of opinion I develop about the new season, and I'm going to give you guys my unfiltered and honest thoughts no matter what. If any of you somehow don't know what released with this update, we received a whole 4 new heroes representing the new Wulin faction, a new game mode called Breech, graphical improvements, and a variety of other little quality of life updates. First thing I want to talk about is how I feel about each of the new heroes. As an overall opinion, I think they are a great addition to the game, and none of them have any issues or abilities that are game breaking on any level. With that, I do wish that not every hero was as packed with fast starting attacks and follow-up lights. As most of you know, I play on Xbox almost exclusively, and if there is even a slight amount of lag or latency, it can be very hard to block some of the 400 millisecond chains. I know this isn't an issue when it comes to PC play, so one of the things that I would have loved to see is separate balancing between console and PC. As of now, my 2 favorite heroes are Shaolin and Zhang, while Nusha is the one that I probably won't end up touching for a while. I love all the options that Key Stance gives to Shaolin, his animations are super well done, and overall I think he's just a fun hero to play as. It may just be me, but as of now I don't see Shaolin having much anti-gank potential, so I've been mostly sticking to duels and brawls with him. His mix-ups have a lot of depth, and you can certainly play mind games with any opponent, which is a playstyle I really enjoy. He's definitely a strong hero, and I think after a few weeks of players getting used to pairing his attacks and countering some of his mix-ups, he'll probably land around A tier. I've been having just as much fun playing as Zhang, and his aesthetic is definitely one of my favorites in the game. So far, he's been a great contender in team fights, and playing Breech with him has been a blast. Lots of his attacks have great lateral range, which is perfect for anti-ganks, and many of his feats, being team-oriented, work out well for an objective-based mode. One thing I think is a little excessive is the damage and speed of his chained light attacks. On console, a lot of players have a difficult time blocking it, and the 20 damage is a bit too much in my opinion. I'm going to wait on making a prediction of where Zhang will land tier-wise, because I think there will be lots of new ways people discover to be more aggressive, as well as ways to counter him. Tiandi will always be a strong hero in his current state. His dodge attacks are not easily countered, he has an incredibly fast palm strike, fast chained lights, and decent damage. Nusha seems to be a very powerful hero on console currently, purely because of her speed and the amount of pressure she can keep on an opponent. I feel like once people get used to avoiding her trap attack, she'll become very one-dimensional and weaker competitively, but still be viable because she is just that fast. Moving on to some other things in the update, arcade mode is something I tried out immediately. I really enjoyed the way it's presented, the setting of each quest is interesting, and PvE is something that the game has sort of lacked for a time. One of the things that really disappointed me about it is the gear level requirements. I say requirements instead of recommended because it is truly impossible to complete some of the final quests without meeting the recommended gear score. I think they easily could have made the difficulty level increase for less geared heroes, without simply making enemies practically one-shot my poor Shaolin and essentially arming me with what amounts to a pool noodle. This isn't a huge deal, and I can certainly just use a hero with sufficient gear, but for new players that's not always possible. With all that said, I do think it will be fun in the future, and I'm very interested to see where the devs take it. Something that has been in For Honor since the beginning of the game is gear score. It's gotten a few tweaks here and there, but for those who remember back to when we had stats like throw distance and sprint speed, you'll know what I'm talking about. Before Marching Fire, there were a lot of complaints about the power the gear could give an experienced player over someone just starting, mostly regarding revenge or damage builds. The system has now been changed to the perk system, which to be completely honest, I don't fully understand yet. I think it's a great idea, and so far it looks like it's been implemented well, but I definitely have to spend more time messing with different gear and upgrades to form a full opinion. The last major thing that I want to talk about is the Breech Game-Mode. As described by Rahman in the E3 presentation, it is a 4v4 multiplayer mode fulfilling the classic medieval fantasy. And I think for the most part, it really does fulfill this fantasy. It's obviously not perfect gameplay-wise, and I think a lot of people would agree that it favors the defending side a bit more, but so far it's still been really fun for me to play. I love the amount of things that can contribute to a win, such as capturing archer points, healing boosts, defending the realm with a shield buff, and activating a high damaging oil cauldron at the gates. The mode can certainly be confusing. I think that the things I mentioned could definitely be better shown within the world. I don't love the long length that the game mode can take, but I'm glad that we now have an extended length mode for those that want to have that castle siege experience and play a mode that requires a good amount of team synergy. That's about it for my first impressions on Marching Fire. I know I didn't touch on everything, so I really want to be able to start some discussion down in the comments. So feel free to let me know what you think of the new season. Again, I want to apologize for being away for so long, but I can't wait to get more Marching Fire content, so expect more videos soon. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. 30,000 subscribers is mind-blowing to me, and I can't thank you enough for helping me reach that milestone.